What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle on the Desk. Academics and Wayno here. Ak has his thighs out today, but I don't know why.
Got his legs all out.
There's a lot of thighs I'm seeing right now.
The rain falling, you gotta bring the thighs out, feel me?
Gotta bring the thighs
Has anyone
out.
touched you on your hips yet?
That type of stuff don't go down over
There's been
here.
threats. I've
People
seen
have
the
been
threats.
looking for you. The
Nah,
challenge
nah,
has
nah,
begun.
Nah.
The Ak hip challenge is lit.
Listen, somebody want to do that to Wayno.
No. Wayno's
You
made
know?
it perfectly clear that he's not interested. Touch this man on the hip, send us a video.
Nah.
And I have to tell you guys real quick, so Monday is Memorial Day. We'll actually be off Monday and the entire week, so we'll see you back here the following week. It's June something. I'm not sure the date off the top of my head. June 3rd? June 4th?
Third.
Yep.
June 3rd, Monday, June 3rd, we're back here on Everyday Struggle. So yesterday we had Moneybagg Yo on. It was my first time meeting him. Same for you guys?
Yeah, it's my first time meeting him too.
Very, very cool dude, very smart dude. He spoke about, being a leader and a role model. And
Do you see how both of us looked at each other when he said that?
Yeah.
Nah, it was just mad shocking because you usually don't hear artists say shit like that.
Yeah.
They usually say, I'm not a role model. I don't want to be that. And for him to embrace it, that's really dope.
Yeah, I like hearing him and like just rappers from the South talk about their come up because I've always thought rappers from the South are smarter in marketing themselves and are way more resourceful than rappers from up north.
Mm-hmm.
So to see how they kind of bubble up out of their region and start making noise before getting to even New York City, that's always impressive to me. So, it was dope meeting him.
Yeah, it was very dope.
very wise man. What did he say? Was it Khaled he said, told him how it's better if your career goes on a nice slow arc up versus shooting straight to the top
True,
and you're not being ready. Like, I'm reading this really dope book called Atomic Habits. And the whole premise is like, if you try to improve your habits by 1% every day, like the exponential difference even in like a year or a lifetime is so crazy.
Wow.
Versus trying to
Up
like,
the cab,
shoot
you don't even read.
All right. Kind of disrespect.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And by the way, like we've heard that same saying. I remember Rick Ross notoriously said it about himself when he was comparing himself to 50. He's like, I'd rather sell 100,000 10 times than sell 1 million once and then never sell shit again. You feel me? So, that consistency does matter. So, salute to Moneybagg Yo. Clearly, he's having the right mindset while he's approaching his career. So,
Yeah, especially when you're trying to build longevity. Like the thing is, it's cool to, even if you do shoot straight to the top, the thing is like you got to understand that you want to make that last. So a lot of people get to the top, get arrogant, fall off, never see him again. It seems like he has a nice trajectory, he's cool with that, and he's getting bigger every year, every project.
Yeah, and that project, Forever Heartless, is out this week, so make sure you check that out.
Right.
All right, into our news. So Drake was on the sidelines during the Raptors-Bucks game on Tuesday, just doing absolutely the most, laughing and trolling, especially when Giannis missed a free throw. Let's take a look.
Drake enjoying himself, yes. Oh, I'm loving it. Oh, Drake. I don't think Giannis has Drake on his playlist.
All right, so before we go further into this story, some people are clearly upset. Did you guys, when you were watching this game, feel like he was doing too much in general, or was it entertaining to you?
I always feel like he doing too much at the game. Nah, I'm serious. I always feel like he doing too much at the games. But I get why he does. I mean, if I was like the top rapper of a whole country and I had like a club in the damn arena and I was an ambassador and all that other shit, I'd probably be acting out too. But I've never seen no entertainer acting out like that on the sidelines. Ever. Like Spike Lee. Spike Lee didn't even, Spike Lee used to talk mad shit. I ain't gonna lie. Spike Lee used to talk mad shit.
No, I think his access looks a little bit more than we've ever seen. Like, I mean, of course, when you buy front row seats, it comes with certain type of like visibility. But I mean, the nigga's literally like behind the coach, grabbing him by the shoulder.
That's
like,
wild.
He's like running on the court, doing like
He did the J.R. Smith shit, the guitar,
he's doing a bunch of shit. But honestly, I think the Toronto Raptors, they're allowing it. And it kind of seemed bitch made that the Milwaukee Bucks, like their owner and people got to say like, yo, this is kind of wild. But like Drake is like the second mascot for.
Yeah, but if
for
you
the
guys
Raptors.
feel like he's doing too much,
supposed
how
to
could
do
they
it.
not feel?
No,
All right, so
I mean, it's not in a bad way. It's like, yo, it's mad distracting. The biggest rapper, like, even if he looks goofy or whatever, he commands a lot of attention. You feel me?
Yeah.
All right.
And when he's doing all that, yes, he's probably getting in Giannis' head. And in the playoffs, it's a mind game a lot of times.
Yeah.
When he's laughing at you, you look like a clown out there. You feel like a clown.
No, it's crazy. It's like, remember when Toronto was playing against Cleveland? I always felt like Party Next Door should have came to the game.
What?
Because remember that whole thing between Party Next Door and
No.
Kalani?
That went way
Kyrie
too
Irving.
far.
Nah,
That
but-
went way too far.
He should know. If I was Party, he wore a Kyrie Irving jersey to a show. If I was him, I would have came to the game. Like, I would've
Kyrie
sat
Irving
courtside.
is a stone cold killer that wouldn't let a nigga like Party Next Door get in his mind. He probably dropped 60 on him.
All right.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
He could try it.
They need. I'm gonna give it 100. Toronto needs everything they can to win this series, only because like they depend a lot on Kawhi Leonard, so they need everything they can. So, like I said, I'm not knocking it, but he is doing too much.
All right, so do you guys blame this guy for complaining? So one of the executives at the agency that represents Giannis got on Twitter to express his frustrations with Drake for trolling so hard. So he did delete this tweet eventually. I guess he was catching a lot of heat. But he said, imagine a gig and an athlete in VIP seats right next to the band, stands up on stage just to show off during the entire game, knowing the cameras are on him, occasionally even massaging the singer. Security and him both allow it. Never seen anything as disrespectful as this before. The Bucks head coach also weighed in on us, basically saying there's certainly no place for fans, and whatever it is exactly that Drake is for the Raptors, his second mascot, as Academics has said, there's boundaries and lines for a reason, and the league is usually pretty good at being on top of stuff like that. So Drake, being his petty self, after this, he posted a series of photos of himself at the game and then liked a comment from one of his followers that read, sports media needs to accept the simple rule the Miami Hurricanes signed into law back in the 80s. If you don't want the opposing team to celebrate and dance, prevent them from scoring, winning, or achieving their objective, get over it, and keep it moving.
He right though. He right.
Who's right?
Drake. Drake is right. Like if you don't want Drake doing all that, like honestly, it's really they're trying to protect these players because they know Drake is getting in their head. Honestly, I think the Bucks are gonna win. And it's gonna be flipped on the opposite side. When they start losing, Drake won't be doing all that shit. Drake is gonna be on the bench looking very sad. If they get eliminated in Toronto, looking very sad, and he's not gonna have any of that theatrics. But that's the way you stop it. You get me? Of course, he's doing a little bit too much, but I don't think he's doing anything that's interrupting with the, like if he was all in Giannis' face.
No, but he's doing a lot of trolling.
But is Giannis
Wait.
looking at him during a game? I don't feel like he's paying
but-
attention to
no,
Drake
no,
on the
wait, go
sidelines,
ahead.
right?
Him touching, he's not touching the opposing coach. He's touching, like the coach for
I
the
know, but
Raptors got no
that's
problems.
still no, but that's still wild. You got to remember that. I get the whole the Miami Hurricane shit. They talking about the dances they was doing in the end zone. Totally different game, totally different circumstances, right? So celebrating in the end zone is one thing. We talking about the top rapper in the game.
Most of the shit he's doing is celebrating though.
Okay, that first laugh
Whether-
minute
whether
felt
it's
a little
celebrating
bit
your
so-
downfall or not.
No. When remember when Giannis, he be saying shit to them and everything. Even when they walk by, he be saying shit and all of that.
That's a
Now
lot.
they do they tell security is supposed to tell them whomever you are, yo, you gotta chill because they don't permit that because it could also lead to other shit, which nothing gonna happen to Drake in Toronto. But the thing is like it is very distracting, and from a professional business standpoint in basketball, I feel where they coming from. But if I was Drake, I would do everything to win too. But did you see the shit with him and Gucci Mane? And he was holding he was holding Giannis' jersey, but that's because they keep saying that like he's a curse and all that other shit. Like you see that jacket they gave him, but they put the Toronto
That's what I'm
jersey
saying.
in the jacket.
I think, to be honest, even though Drake is a curse, like when it comes to sports, like a lot of the antics he's doing, it's more goofy and like entertaining / trolling more than like. I don't think it's
he's
like
trolling. No, he's definitely
Yeah,
trolling.
I don't think it's like affecting the game or like he's affecting the players and crossing that line. I mean, you might think like he's doing too much on the sidelines.
He's doing too much, but he's not crossing the line and disrespecting
But
them.
you also got to realize what courtside seats are like. You literally sit essentially right next to the players. You get me? You stand up, you're very visible when the camera's panning from side to side.
Did you see the thing with Chris Brown? I'm not Chris Brown, my fault. Chris Rock, where he was talking to Kobe. He was saying all this shit to Kobe, and Kobe just looking straight ahead. And then they asked Kobe about it, and he was like, I couldn't even hear nothing he was saying. He's like, I'm so locked in on the game, I don't pay attention to nothing nobody's saying. But now, like, where everything matters, like, the thing about Giannis is, you got to deal with that, and then you got to go on social media and see that shit later on. You know what I mean? It does bother him.
And that's why he shouldn't be on social media. I know his reps are, but here's the thing too, like that whole thing is going on, and if you watch the broadcast, like TNT and the NBA, they're focusing on Drake more than Giannis.
Right.
Like it's like they have a Drake cam.
Yeah,
like they
do.
pan to be
That's
like,
what they
okay,
do.
Drake is
But
over
you know
here.
what?
Like they have his reaction to everything, like
I think
some watch.
now I support the Milwaukee Drake ban. I think now I support the Milwaukee Dream.
You've come around.
Yeah.
And to be
Okay.
honest,
So I support the Milwaukee Dream.
I think he supports it. Like I had posted it. He liked the picture of the news saying that his music was being banned. I think he's into the. Of course, he's a fan, but they always say the fan, at least in basketball, that's like the 13th player, right? Just like, or the 6th man or whatever. It was 13th player, whatever. But I think he likes that type of, as much as you can, try to affect the other team. It's
You guys think Giannis has a problem with this, like off the court? I don't know the details, but is he taking this personally? They really have an issue?
I mean,
You think so?
Not personally. Not personally what he wanted.
He must be annoyed,
No,
but
I
not
would
beef.
definitely be annoyed. Like I would. The thing is like, but that's what kind of fuels the game. I mean, look at what Reggie Miller and Spike Lee had, where Reggie Miller took and grabbed his dick. Like he went like this to Spike Lee when he was with his wife or some shit. You know what I mean? Spike Lee was talking all that shit, and Reggie Miller scored 6. He hit 2 threes in like a matter of 2 seconds to win the game, and then went over to Spike and was like, "Y'all choked." So it's like that's gonna. It's only gonna fuel Giannis. Like it's only gonna fuel him, but he definitely feel away. If I was him,
Send
I'd
them
feel away.
home. Yo, this is where the greatness comes out. If you let Drake, the nigga who made Hotline Bling on the sidelines, fucking take you out of your game, that you played you played a preseason. 82
See how
games.
he don't say W freestyle though. Like he won't say that. He gonna say Hotline Bling. Don't put
I'm
the
just
aggression.
saying.
Like you won't give him his aggression.
Nah, I'm just saying, man. He made Hold On We're Coming Home. You let that guy get you out of your game, you're not mentally built for this anyway.
Wow.
You're supposed to send the Raptors home. You're the best player on the court. I don't hear nothing about Kawhi. You're the best player on the court. Get
Say
them out of here.
Giannis is
Of
better
course,
than Kawhi.
Greek Freak. He's
You
the
think
best.
you think he's better than Kawhi Leonard?
Man, that guy's a monster,
he's not.
man.
He's not better than
And
Kawhi
his
Leonard.
potential ain't even fully
And neither is
reached
Kawhi's.
yet.
It's neither is Kawhi's. And he's already a Finals MVP and got a ring.
Come on, nobody want to hear about Kawhi, what he did with the Spurs. We talking about what
Yeah, but he's not even. What is he? 25.
The
They the same
Greek
age. They the same age.
I'm telling you.
He's not better. He's not a better basketball player than Kawhi Leonard.
I'll take the Greek Freak.
Okay.
He's my favorite.
Agree to disagree on
Since
this
LeBron.
one.
We'll definitely
Yeah,
agree to
okay,
disagree.
our
We'll
season's
definitely
going
agree.
forever.
But send him home. Send him home, and
Send
he won't
him
be doing
home.
this shit.
Yeah.
I think that Milwaukee's gonna win. I do
hope this
believe
is
that they're gonna
motivation.
win.
And when he, I like how Dame did. Dame did it the best way when he hit that game-winning shot. And
Don't
he,
talk
he,
about Dame. They just got swept. Don't even
Well,
talk about him. Dog.
they have,
Oh yeah, we didn't address that either.
They have
Let's
have
move
bad
on.
luck versus the Warriors.
move on.
But he said the perfect thing in his end game. He said in the post-game conference, he was on some shit like, "Yo, y'all were disrespectful, then we sent y'all home disrespectfully. That's how you should do it."
Heard you.
Side note, that jacket Wayno was just talking about that the Raptors gave to Drake, $769,000 diamond encrusted jacket. Wild.
That hoodie fire.
235.
He's not even gonna wear that shit.
200. He better wear 235 diamonds in the shape of the OVO owl plus a 1.2 carat diamond on the left.
What hoodie is
lapel.
that? That's fire.
That's not what we're talking about right now, Ak. You don't
He
have an
didn't say
OVO
Orbs
merch
once, I'm surprised.
collection. I'm sure he shipped you a box. Come on. All right.
Anyone.
He'll wear that shit every day. He don't-
You're right. He did
Yeah,
not
get
receive
that.
that box. All right, guys. This week in hip hop, MMG dropped their first compilation album, Self Made Volume 1. So that was May 23rd, 2011. Today, exactly 15 songs. Features from Jadakiss, Cole, Jeremiah, French Montana, and more. Some production from Cardiac, Just Blaze, Lex, Luger, Leaf Major, and more. So this debuted at number 5 on Billboard 200. Sold almost 59,000 copies first weeks. None of the 4 major artists featured on that cover were Ross, Meek, Wale, and Pill. And of course, like Tidra, Moses, Torch, and Gunplay were on it. There were a few big singles on this, Tupac Back, By Any Means, and of course, I'm a Boss. That was a mega huge record at the time. Did you guys like this project when it dropped? Did you feel like it was impactful?
Yes. Well, you know what? I think like MMG's whole reign at the time. What was the biggest thing out of MMG was the MMG vlogs. Do you remember those, Act? When Rick Ross used to drop the MMG vlogs.
Oh
like,
yeah, it was. I can't remember the guy who edited it, but salute to him.
It was Spiff TV.
Yeah.
Spiff TV. But that shit was like a luxurious commercial. Like you know, like, for real, like they really painted like the lifestyle of what they was trying to convey. When this shit dropped, it was really good, but I don't think a lot of it aged well. I think that Self-Made 2 actually aged better than Self-Made 1, but I do remember how big of a moment this was, you know, because this is like basically the start of like Meek's career.
Yeah.
You know, Wale getting out of his Interscope Alito deal and shit and having a little bit of a run. Rick Ross being one of the best rappers around this time. It definitely meant a lot. But it's crazy. I haven't heard from Pill ever again since then.
Yeah.
Remember, he made that, he's on that XXL freshman cover with Nipsey Hussle, Big Sean, shit, OJ the Juice Man was on that cover.
Wow.
J-Rock, a few other people. But yeah, this was definitely a moment. This was definitely a moment.
I think this is when I kind of realized what type of like exec Ross was. He was promoting this shit like it was his album, you know. And even though the sales didn't do too well, it gave Meek the opportunity to shine. Like I felt like this was an album that was I can't remember if Meek's project came after this, right?
The Dream Chasers tapes started coming.
Yeah, it started coming after this, right?
After this, yeah.
Like I felt like it was the layup for it, and he went on like a phenomenal run. You feel me? I'm serious.
Right.
So, but it got set up by this, and it all rolled into what he had coming up. So, seeing how Ross treated that, and Ross had the juice at the time. You know, like you always judge someone's character by how they handle the rock when they have everything. You feel me? And he passed it off to Meek, and he was supportive of Meek, like Meek was him. So, you know, I think that's the most standout thing from this. And of course, like, for some reason, I thought that I'm a Boss was on Meek's project. That's how long that song lasted.
Well, it was on the Dream Chasers. They put it on the Dream Chasers, well, like one mixtape. Because I remember Meek put out 2 mixtapes. He put out Dream Chasers 1 and 2, and then his album came. Because remember, people was giving him flack too, because it was taking so long for his album to come out. You know?
This was around the time. Who was the producer that was hot around this time?
It's a few of them.
Was it Lex Luger?
Lex Luger, hell
on
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Hell
he was making mad like little anthem joints for like
He was like how
Ross
Tay Keith
and the whole
and all them
team.
niggas is right now. Like Lex Luger had that shit rocking. But you remember his sound kind of started with Waka and shit,
Yeah,
and this
it
was
started
around
with
like
Waka.
around that same time. But this album, remember this was when Ross and them kind of went on like, remember when G-Unit? I think that towards the end of like a person's run, they start. Like labels start signing everybody, but Ross kind of started out his label trying to sign everybody. Remember that? Like, cause he signed Stolly after that. We thought Nipsey was gonna sign over there. He tried to get Wiz. Everybody thought French was on MMG as well. You know?
Yeah, this was him dropping this was equivalent. Again, not in terms of sales or maybe, you know, maybe on a micro level, to when 50 dropped that group album. Like if you think about the momentum 50 was building up and then when that came. Because you gotta realize, so Ross in 2008, he's going at 50. Deeper Than Rap comes out, he's explaining the CO's stuff, right? 2009, he dropped Teflon Don. I think I'm right with my dates.
2009
Teflon Don, right? 2010, and by the way, he was dropping also other tapes.
Right,
Ashes
to Ashes. Cause remember, Ashes to Ashes came before this when he had like Meek and Wale on one song or whatever, and then they started doing videos and shit.
Exactly, and he was dropping these tapes that I remember, like, I think the whole culture was taking note, like, yo, this nigga's like this nigga Ross is doing a lot, even with tapes that are for free, and those were like literally for free.
Right.
They weren't like, oh, they're mixtapes, but they're on Apple Music. It was like, well, even though
I know
you
what
could,
you mean.
free as in, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But they're on DatPiff or whatever the case is. And around this time, I felt like he had so much momentum that you're looking to see what he's about to do next, and that's when he started bringing the artists out. So I thought that was dope timing, and I think that's when he was giving you the intro of like the different aspects of MMG. All right, here, listen, check out my dude from Philly. He's the streets. Check out Wale, he from DC. He's more poetic, he's more like creative. And to be honest, like, I didn't even think most of these things were gonna pan out.
Right.
Except Meek, because Meek already kind of came out the gate with the songs. And this was just a beautiful start for them, honestly.
You know what's crazy? This whole time, since then, Meek been on probation. Like, think about that, like that whole time. But
Even before that, right?
Yeah, before that, but I'm just saying, like, that whole tenure, right? And then when you look at, like, what it took to break, like, a Meek out of this, it took, like, 4 projects, because this sparked off, like, the Self-Made series, then he had the Dream Chasers 1 and 2. It took 4 projects for him to get to his debut album. So it's like, that's a lesson for kids to take when they get signed and just want to rush out putting out a project, not a project, but putting out an album, like, tomorrow.
Right.
You know?
Looking at the prompter too, it says, I was thinking, where's Stally in the mix? Stally came around for Self-Made
Later,
too,
yeah. When
right?
Omarion was around.
With my man Omarion.
Yeah.
Omarion was doing ballet spins for a lifetime.
Omarion had some hits on MMG.
No, of course.
He had some hits.
Of
But
course.
I feel like Stolly should have never signed to MMG.
What happened to Omarion now?
I don't know. I haven't seen, I mean, you know what I mean?
I know he was on some Love and Hip Hop type of stuff.
He was. I mean, they doing the
Released a
B2K tour right now.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they doing the
Oh,
B2K tour?
Back on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of
But
those
I'm-
artists didn't really make sense on MMG necessarily, but they had some good moments together at least.
No, Ross was making it like. Ross is such a great salesman. That's the best quality about him. He could sell you some shit you already have, you don't need, you'll never use. But shit, I remember when he had a press conference on Omarion. Like he had a press conference and yo, we're signing. Like you know he got that.
Yeah,
voice.
everybody was,
we're
we was
signing
wondering.
somebody best to MMG. We're like, all right, shit, who is it?
But he had us waiting for like 3 days
For
to find
real.
out too. And it was like, and it was only Omarion is like, that's it? Like,
Only a Marion.
But-
Come on,
but
guys.
I'm not
that
gonna
was
lie.
it. But I mean, but we just didn't expect
Nah, I
Ross
know.
to sign
Yeah.
Omarion.
But
Fair.
he talked it up and like even like I felt like his belief in and how he pushed out Omarion gave Omarion a new like belief in himself. Like shit.
Did Omarion ever put out an album?
Nothing. I don't know if it was an album. I know he put out that one song. I was fucking heavy.
Didn't he at least drop
Fuck,
an
I don't
EP?
care. That's
Like he
shit
had-
was fire.
MIA.
Yeah, MIA.
But I'm just the drink was,
Illusion 2010, Sex Playlist 2014.
He put out an album on MMG.
I don't know if it was officially on MMG.
He put out some records.
He put out
though.
some records, but
I remember them records.
There's
doing
no Omarion MMG album though. Like there's no MMG album.
I mean, his biggest moment on MMG was when he came out at the BET Awards and he did like 18 spins in 2 seconds. That shit was crazy.
Omarion is one of the best dancers. I put him up like he could.
Where does he compare to Chris Brown?
Yeah, Sex
He's
Playlist.
under Chris Brown, but he's close. He's
We
close.
need to rank all these dancers.
I'm
We got
for real.
Chris
Just
Brown.
on dancing?
No, Chris Brown,
Usher would be in there somewhere, yeah.
Usher's definitely
right?
it.
Wasn't Timberlake dancing for a little bit too?
Yeah, Timberlake was dancing.
Timberlake was dancing for a little bit.
Wait, hold on. You said Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, he was dancing for a little
Wait,
bit.
we're counting him?
Of course.
I don't know. If
This is confusing to me because I feel like he catches flack sometimes
that was during the era where everybody who was doing R&B had to have some
Nah,
moves.
man, but
Stop
I
it,
don't.
hold
I'm not
on.
ranking Justin
I'm just
Timberlake
gonna say,
over
I'm a
Omarion's
huge-
dancing, bro.
I'm a
Like,
huge JT fan. He's a great dancer, but I didn't know we were claiming him like that.
We're not claiming him. We just saying he danced.
Oh, just dancers, period?
Yeah.
In
Dance
history?
period,
nah, I don't
All
know
right, then
dance
that's
period.
different. We gotta like
That's
open it
different.
up a little bit.
Yeah, nah. We talk about black dancers, my nigga.
Who be dancing now?
None of these niggas dance.
Other than Blueface.
He has 2 moves. He got the crip walk and his other dance.
Jacquees be dancing?
Does Jacquees dance?
Bro, just stop
think
talking bullshit in my ear.
so.
You know,
never seen Jacquees
Jacquees.
I finally met the king of
Jacquees busy-
R&B though. He's cool.
Jacquees is in the studio listening to Elevate songs. You know he not dancing for shit.
Does Tory dance? I feel like Tory should be
Nah,
dancing
Tory-
somehow.
No,
That's the only thing he
climbs.
doesn't do.
Tory Clown.
He climbs. He don't dance. You know,
Hang off his shit. Tory hang off his shit.
That's a good distraction. I've never thought about like Tory makes whole R&B projects, does not dance. No matter what, he's in the crowd like on a ledge singing.
Climbing on some
Yeah.
shit, hanging off some shit.
Still a showman though.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need backup dancers if you're not dancing.
Yeah, you're right.
They could be expensive.
They could be expensive. All right, we got one more this week in hip hop. This one's like a little bit further back, May 2009. So this was when Rap Radar on MTV reported that Jay-Z was officially off Def Jam. Now, according to Hits Daily Double, Jay had bought himself out of his deal for about $5 million. And in a statement to Rap Radar, he said at the time that, you know, it's been a unique and fulfilling experience, and he respected the people that he worked with immensely. He added that, of course, you know, they were his family for almost his entire career. So he had a long history at Def Jam. So in addition to being an artist, he signed on to be the president and CEO back in 2004. Then he left that position in 2007, like late in the year. And then officially left the label in 2009, which is the same year we got Blueprint 3. He accomplished a lot at Def Jam, but I feel like his time as president, some people had issues with it because he was artist and also president. But
Yeah, I mean, he has some wins, a few losses too. Tierra Marie was no, for real, because I remember when he signed Tierra Marie. He signed Tierra
Is it
Marie.
a win or a loss?
Huh?
You said
At-
that's a win or a loss?
That was a loss. That's definitely a loss. I mean, but the thing is, because when he signed Tierra Marie, I felt like he had bigger plans for Tierra Marie than he did Rihanna. Because he was really excited about Tierra Marie.
that's fair. But he brought Rihanna, so that's something.
He did bring
That's like
Rihanna.
one
Like,
of the biggest
Even I
wins in
was
history.
excited. I used to have Tierra Marie posters as a little kid. I kid you not.
Wow.
To see the ratchetness I be having now, I'm shocked and appalled. I'm
Shocked.
serious. Like
Shocked
I
and
used to,
appalled.
she had this like photo shoot against this like yellow background. I had all the posters, bro.
Yeah, she had that girl next door, but her and then Christina Milian.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, Christina Milian.
We did, and then he had a good staff. I mean, you know, rest in
Nas.
peace to Shakir Stewart. You know what I mean? Like, he brought in Rick Ross. You know what I mean? Rick Ross came around that time.
Yeah.
Jeezy came around that time. Nas, brought Nas in. There's definitely.
He has some big wins. I feel like
he
they
does have
outweigh
big ones.
the
But you know what was bad? Remember that LL Cool J and J Lo vid?
which one? In
Oh,
the snow?
they had this bet. Was that the one in the snow? They
Or am I
had
thinking
one
wrong?
of
The
them
one where
joints.
she's wearing the Timberland, like the heels or some shit?
But
No, I'm
it's
thinking
not
of the
all I
wrong
had.
one.
It's another one. Yeah, that is all I had, but it's a different one. It's a different one that
Wait,
he had.
LL Cool J and J-Lo?
Yeah,
Let
they
me
had a
hold on.
song.
Why
but
don't I
it was,
remember
it was,
this?
It's not all I have. It's another song that they had that was. What is it?
Wait.
No. What Jay?
Nah, All I
LL
Have
had
is
a-
fire, though.
All
Yeah,
I
it
have
was.
is fire. It might not be all I have, but it's a LL Cool J song that he had that was hard.
Oh, it's his song featuring J-Lo?
No, it's not. I'm bugging.
Or it's hers feature? Who is it?
It's just LL. It's just LL. by itself.
Okay, so you're
I'm
just,
bugging.
why are you throwing J-Lo into this bullshit
Because
right now?
I just looped into that.
No,
whole
that was
era.
fire.
I
Remember
just
those
looped
boots?
into that. No, that
Everyone
was
went
fire.
out and tried to get those boots after J-Lo had them.
did?
I know what
Yeah,
song
but
you're
then
talking
never wore the
about.
shit
I
again.
just can't remember.
It's some it's like Phenomenon 2.0. Like for that shit was bad.
Yeah.
But that happened under that regime. But nah, Jay racked up some.
Don't try to play my nigga LL like that. LL give me smoke.
I'm not playing
Find this
LL,
one
man.
song.
I
Nigga,
remember
LL was my
that
favorite
he had
rapper.
some bars on that shit.
What?
Like it was some. I can't remember the
Nigga,
bar.
LL was my favorite rapper when I was a kid.
But it was like something hot like fish grease or something like that. I can't remember.
It was I can't remember, yo. It just was a bad. I just remember the video was horrible.
Wait, say it again, right?
Headsprung is
No,
the
that
old
wasn't.
nigga
Nah.
anthem. It's not Headsprung.
Headsprung was fire.
Headsprung is the old.
It was a joint after that.
You're an alleged DJ, right? So
Nah,
like,
Headsprung go hard.
Headsprung is the old nigga anthem. If you throw that on at a party right now, the old niggas is wildin'.
Now?
Right now, I'm talking about like for the 50 and over crowd.
Okay.
Like they wildin' to that.
Oh, man.
I know at the time it was good. That shit and Ciara had a joint at that time that was popping off. Cause I
Sarah
used
had mad shit. Fucking 1 2
Yeah,
step.
she had a great
yeah, I used to play them. I used to play that and the Ciara joint right back to back.
But yeah, but that was a good, good nice little run that whole had over
It's
there.
gonna kill me now that we can't figure out the name of the song.
Yeah.
If you
Nah,
guys
but
know
we
what
gonna
it
find
is,
out.
you
We
might
gonna
Cool
look
though.
it up.
I ain't trying to figure it out just to clown him.
Yeah, we gonna find out.
All right, that's it for this week in hip hop. Nice little stroll down memory lane. All right, so today's fast break artist is Quando Rondo. He's 20 years old from Savannah, Georgia. So in June 2018, we learned that he was going to be the first signee to Youngboy Never Broke Again's Atlantic Records label, Never Broke Again LLC. Such a great label name. Some of his standout records are Scarred from Love, ABG, Gunpowder, and Imperfect Flower. So we got 2 mixtapes from him in 2018. Life Before Fame, which dropped in April, had features from Lil Durk and Lil Baby. That did over 1 million streams in its first 2 days out, which is pretty incredible. He followed that up with Life After Fame. And this month, he releases highly anticipated follow-up project called From the Neighborhood to the Stage. Features from Shy Glizzy, Polo G, and Block Boy JB. He's also been out on the road with SOB RBE, doing really well. What do you guys like about Quando Rondo?
Quando, I got introduced to him through Youngboy. I forgot what song it was. It was actually, which is interesting because the next bulletin point says like he also dissed Kevin Gates because of some Youngboy stuff. But I found out about him. Youngboy and Kevin Gates did like this joint EP together, and on one of the songs, which I really like, Quando Rondo was on it. And I remember I liked the song, and I knew there was somebody else on it. I didn't really take notice to who he was, but he actually did pretty good in the verse. Then obviously I kind of like paid a little bit more attention. I'm like, oh, it's Quando Rondo. Then I realized he was with Youngboy, started putting the pieces together, and then I started checking out his music, and I realized like he was dope. So like I've been following him since. I think he's great. I only have one thing about him that kind of bugs me a bit. I feel like sometimes he's in Youngboy's shadow. Youngboy is usually like getting a lot of attention because of controversies. His music does great too, but like, sometimes when you're signed to somebody and you're with someone all the time, like you kind of get drowned possibly in their wave. And I feel like, with him dropping this project now, this is the time for him to get all attention, all eyes on him. And I think it's kind of working, but that's been my only like complaint about him.
Okay.
Like sometimes he's like overshadowed by Youngboy, but I think he just dropped this project and it's time for him, to take off solo.
Yeah, I got like the first time I heard him, I think I just was on YouTube, and then like he just came as a recommended video or some shit, and I think it was like Scar for Life. But like I never really got too much into his music, but I loved like what's the shit on Boogie album, Best Friend. Like that's when I really started trying to like mess with this shit. But I listened to this new project. The song I like the most on there is the joint with Block Boy JB and Polo G. Like I fuck with that. I feel like he kind of had like he's kind of like a bit of a don't want to just give him that title, but like kind of like a South A Boogie. He kind of reminds me of like a Atlanta A Boogie. You know what I mean? Because he has a lot of melody shit and he be saying real shit in his bars. But I think he's going on a good path. The tough thing about being signed to NBA Youngboy is like he's such a massive like kid right now. Like he's the most viewed person on, or most viewed rapper on YouTube and all of that shit. So that is a bit of a shadow to come up off of. But this last project, he seems to hold his own on this shit. You know what I mean? He seemed to hold his own. So like I'm interested to see like after this tour if he can do his own tour and see if he can kind of sustain or not separate himself from YoungBoy, but go on his own little run. Cause every time I see him, he's kind of attached to somebody else.
And also in terms of separating himself from YoungBoy is also separating himself from the bullshit. Because you know, being on social media that I am on like a lot, I see him a lot of times. He's involving himself in bullshit that. You know, for a new artist like him, and sometimes it's not on behalf of him. He's doing it for YoungBoy. He's doing it because somebody's talking. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that type of stuff, I don't think it's, of course you gotta be down for your homies, but sometimes that could be the only thing people know you for. You know what I mean? When your music isn't the first thing that's pushed. But melodic, his voice, I understand why you say the A Boogie thing. I wouldn't say A Boogie, but melody-wise, and we've seen a lot of these guys come out of the South, just melody-wise and their voice. I don't know if it's an engineer that creates it. It sounds like his regular speaking voice, but like it's very dope and it just works.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
All right.
And you know what's funny about him? His come-up story is very interesting. Like there's tons of old videos of him looking really broke. Okay, I'm serious.
He never broke again now.
You still look really broke.
No, but like.
Hey, remember we found out his net worth yesterday.
Oh, guys, we Googled Axe net worth yesterday.
Google Academics' net worth.
Should I need to Google it too?
You're gonna be even more disturbed by his wardrobe.
I already hit that site up to ask him for the money that they claim I got. I need it.
Heard you.
But no, like you could see his come up story from like YouTube where like he was literally just in the housing projects and like he's like just trying to make it and couple stints back and forth to jail that was kind of keeping him unfocused. I'm just hoping he just, you know, stay on the right path and keep going up from here.
Yeah, I love those type of stories. You know, when you see a kid that was like trying to like, because the thing about it is, it's really hard when you're living in a fucked up place and you're trying to do something positive that could better yourself and you keep trying and you're not getting results. So for him to get to the level that he's at now, that's a big accomplishment. But if he could go further, that's a great story.
Yeah, and I just like the fact that you can see the come up. You feel me? Like I feel like there's so many artists now that you don't see the come up at all.
The industry plants,
You get me?
academics.
Mad industry plants.
All right.
I just found out 3 more today. No, yesterday.
What? All right. From the neighborhood to the stage, go check out that project. It is out now. All right. So we have a new segment. Obviously, we talk about a lot of music on this music debate show. So we're gonna start introducing our EDS struggle playlist. I think we're gonna do this twice a month. Just about 4 picks from each of us, the songs that we're currently listening to.
Right.
So we're gonna run through them real quick. You know, just a quick note on why you pick some of these records. So we know. Will you kick us off?
Yes, I shall. So, of course, I'm heavy on Igor time, even though Academics isn't. So I picked Running Out of Time. That's my favorite joint off of there. I picked Higher, from Nipsey and DJ Khaled, because I think this is just a moment that we'll always remember. Even due to unfortunate circumstances, it's just the whole story around it, because when Khaled explained the record, he said that him and Nipsey was having a 2-hour conversation, and that 2-hour conversation led to the record. So I picked that. I picked Mac Talk by this young dude named Drippy. He's from Washington Heights. He got it's something that's bubbling in New York. Like everybody hasn't heard it yet, but it's gonna go. And I picked Do You Care by T.J. Porter because I think that's gonna be one of the songs of the summer.
How did you get an honorary pick? Roger, were we just confused? I was so confused. I was like, is it 5? Is it 4? All right, so Wayno finessed the honorary pick. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, my honorary pick.
What the
yes.
fuck?
I got an honorary pick.
But why? Anyway.
Because we make the rules. The fuck.
All right,
so my honorary pick is Middle Child by PNB and XXXTentacion. I think that shit is dope. It made me want to check out XXX's music more, which I didn't really appreciate when he was here. I'm man enough to say that. So I fuck with this. That's my list.
All right, Ak, you're up.
Did you get a list or no?
Barely. Wayno took up extra
Wayno
space,
took your
so
list.
I got
Oh,
only
shit.
3 songs.
Listen, my list, I have Lil Keed and Young Thug Proud of Me. I'm a big fan of Lil Keed. I got on, which I think a lot of people got onto his music through a song called Nameless. His vocal cadence, very distinctive. And if you listen to him, all the descendants of Young Thug has this little screeching, high-pitched shit going on, and I be liking it, whether it's YNW Melly or whoever. Like, I like that type of singing or whatever it is. So that Proud of Me song, I have it on there. By the way, check out Nameless too. PNB Rock Dreamin', I'm telling you, I still fuck with his project. That's
Yes.
the intro song to his project. Again, y'all know me, I kind of gravitate a little bit to more melodic sounding music. And PNB Rock, while he does also have some substance and he also raps a bit, you know, great with melodies, Dreamin' was a great way to kick off his album. I got to show my UK mandem.
Man's them.
You feel me? So
they
I
run down.
got Skepta, Bullet from a Gun. So that's one of my picks because shit, I'm a huge Skepta fan, and usually when I'm not seeing a lot of like original shit coming out of like US music, I usually listen to UK shit because their shit is usually off the wall. At least when you're just normally listening or your ears is only in the States. And then, you know, y'all people would never thought I would pick this, but I got SZA on my little playlist, and it's Just
little
Us.
playlist.
All right? That song, the sample is crazy. Super
Classic.
Khaled for getting that song, getting that sample, getting that production, matching it with SZA, and of course SZA for doing the thing. So I like that song, and I think that's gonna be one of the ones. I looked at it on the charts recently, and you know, like he just kind of put out the album. Even though I think there is a video for that out already, it's gravitating towards the top, so it's trending very high. So people are enjoying that song. So that's me.
Okay. So just like Wayno, I really like this new Tyler album, Igor. That's what I'm listening to the most. It was actually hard for me to pick the song that I wanted. I think I put 2, so Roger like trimmed one out. Thank you, Roger. But so Earthquake is the one that ended up on here. Just a really great song. I like hearing Tyler open up. I really, really love the production on this. From the Khaled album, I went with
You like
Wish
Cardi
Wish.
on that.
Huh?
Keep it real.
What?
You like Cardi on that song. That's what it is.
That's why I picked, yeah, Wish Wish. Plus, I love 21. We were talking about when we were doing my beach show last week that we feel like this is going to be a big strip club song. I really want to go to a strip club with you guys. I'd like to take
Let's
a
do
little
it.
field trip. I
Let's
feel like
go.
Wish Wish is the one. I also picked Icy from Logic featuring Gucci Mane because I don't know, I just kind of like hearing Gucci come out of the box this year. So he did that record with like Bruno Mars. I wouldn't expect that,
Yeah.
but I actually like the song. It
I
like
do that.
grew on me a lot.
Yeah, I like that.
But if you told me 10 years ago that he would have worked with Bruno Mars, I would have never believed you. I loved his feature on the Solange album. I feel like we're just hearing different sides of Gucci, so it was cool to hear him collaborate with Logic. And then BMO from Ari Lennox, so her debut album is out now, Shea Butter Baby. So Omen produced this song.
Wait, stop it. Shea Butter Baby.
That's the name of her album.
Stop it. For
I
real?
got a
Yeah.
t-shirt for you actually, yeah.
Wait, is this like she's a singer?
She's
Yeah,
she's
to
on
Dreamville.
Dreamville. She's super
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
tune with
she,
the culture, act.
yeah, she has
Bruh, do you even see a nigga like me, whether I'm spring cleaning, in the shower?
You don't use shea butter?
No!
Have you ever used shea
you
butter?
should, because you're
Me
always
and Shea
ashy.
Butter don't get along. If it's Shea Butter Twitter, Shea Butter Instagram, we usually
doesn't
don't.
like-
I'm talking
Yeah.
about actual shea butter that you put on yourself
Hell
to
nah.
moisturize, man.
I don't even know what Shea Butter is.
You don't know? You trolling?
I know what Shea Butter is, bro. It's some type of thing I see at CVS.
It's a good deep natural moisturizer act.
All I know is they are usually a little bit too extreme when I go on their Twitter side. I'm like, oh.
As they should be when you come around.
Tangent. But anyway, so Ari Lennox, her debut album is out now, and so this one was produced by Omen, but like it's the beat that you hear on the Busta track, like Woo-Ha, from maybe like a decade back. And then if you dig,
Whoa.
yeah, I went even digging more. So who's the original sample? Space by Galt McDermott. I didn't know that. I thought that was just an original Busta beat at the time. And since, Wayno got his honorary picks. Here it is. Thank you, Roger. You're the best.
You got 2 of them?
I didn't realize you put them both in, but one is Tyler, I'll skip it. And I also picked Rapture by Coffee. So she's really dope, this Jamaican artist. She's coming up under Chronix, if you're familiar with him, super talented as well. And she has a little EP out called Rapture. Toast was the big single from last year. She's super, super dope, so check her out.
Lit.
Industry Blunt? No way.
What?
Go ahead.
Please tell me.
Stop talking shit all the time. All right, so a couple quick hits before we go. So according to TMZ and new documents filed yesterday in a Pennsylvania Superior Court, the Philly District Attorney the Philly's district attorney is accusing Judge Denise Brinkley of abusing her discretion in Meek Mill's case. Now, we've talked about this a lot. So now the DA has determined that Meek should actually be granted a new trial because of her abuse. So maybe we're going to finally see some progress here.
Yes, this is one step forward. You know what I mean? He still got to get through it, but it's one step forward. I think Meek is going to be all right.
They're not doing nothing with this. Like, the DA has said it before. The previous DA has said it before. The DA came out on the same like little press conference with him, publicly trying to support Meek. The governor. It ain't gonna change, honestly.
Not gonna change, you don't think?
No, because I don't think they could find, and they've tried already. They can't find anything that shows that how she's acting is either unlawful or the judgment she's making is unlawful, which I think she's either smart or she's like, again, even if we all admit that she's biased, she's still threading that legal line where she's not completely, like, whatever she says won't either be completely overturned, even though sometimes when she got him locked up, it did get overturned. But it won't get her off the case. So it won't get her in legal trouble, but, you know, unfortunately, Meek's gonna have to deal with her. She's not gonna say. The only way is for her to recuse herself, and she's not.
This woman is like untouchable. I've never seen some shit like this before.
Crazy.
All right, we gotta go soon to get the episode on time, but real quick, because we're off all of next week, so we'll see you guys back here in early June. So we know Kodak Black is also dealing with a lot of legal troubles. He was arrested in Florida before his Rolling Loud set. Now TMZ is saying that Kodak's fingerprints, a gun, and a rental car in his name were also linked to a shooting that happened in Pompano Beach, Florida, on March 7th. So prosecutors allege that someone, basically in a rented Porsche, opened fire on the home of a rival rapper. No one was apparently injured at the time. The rapper has not been named. Kodak's fingerprints were found. It says that he spent over $3,500 to buy 3 pistols, which does not look good. But his criminal attorney also told XXL that prosecutors admitted the gun they found at the scene of the crime had not been used. And now Kodak is asking that a judge grant him a supervised jail release from Florida so he can appear in a South Carolina courtroom to stand trial for a criminal sexual conduct case from 2016.
This is just too much. This is just too much, man. I don't really have nothing on this one. It's like every week is something with him, you know.
Hey, I mean, I pretty much told y'all, like, hey, it felt excessive the way how they went at him to get him at Rolling Loud. They're not going at everybody who lies in a government document like that. Clearly, they had something else. This is something else. The feds, like they're notorious for doing, they're not going to reveal their hands until they have to. They haven't criminally indicted him on the shooting, but they showed up in court to say, let's keep him in jail because we have information of shit he did. I'm pretty sure they have way more information than they brought here, which, again, unfortunately, you might see some serious charges come down on Kodak for that particular shooting and definitely for the gun. So, you know, hopefully that's not the case, but the feds are playing they're barely showing their hands here. Their poker face is pretty good, and I'm hoping this legal team is on top of everything because he has another case, as we just spoke about, in South Carolina. Is it South or North? I think it's South. South Carolina, which, again, the feds, once the feds hit you, they're not gonna let you go like the state did.
They have like a 98% conviction rate as well. So, you know, when the feds come, it's not a game.
All right, so just real quick to end on a lighter note, you guys don't have to debate anything here. You know, we talked about that abortion ban in Alabama that's coming down. So Travis Scott recently performed at Hangout Fest in Alabama, and he said he was going to donate a lot of his, just proceeds to Planned Parenthood, which is really dope. So there we go. There's some good news. Hope you guys enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you here in early June.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. Yes. Thank you for watching Everyday Struggle.